is the red meat capital of the world, consuming more than 14 million tons of beef per year, more than any other country.
This is going to be a 72-ounce steak eventually. It's rough to figure out how many hundreds of thousands of pounds that we do. We go by truckloads.
It tastes delicious.
Red meat truly became a staple of the American diet in the late 19th century, when refrigerated railway cars made it possible to ship Western beef east. Our search for steak paradise begins at one of the oldest and most renowned steakhouses in the country, located in the city that was the heart of this turn-of-the-century beef boom.
There's only one best, and this is it.
Situated at the base of the Williamsburg Bridge across the river from Wall Street in a modest part of Brooklyn, New York, lies the Peter Luger Steakhouse. It may not look like much, but for many patrons, this is the Vatican of meat.
Oh, fantastic. The best. The best ever.
Peter Luger's is the place for the ultimate steak.
We traveled 45 minutes from 5th Avenue and 57th just to eat this steak. How many times do you travel 45 minutes to have a steak in the middle of the day on a school night?
And your waiter will be right there to take your order.
Wonderful, thank you.
Today, Jody Storch is the third generation of her family to maintain the tradition of excellence. Still cooking up what many believe are the world's best steaks in the original location.
This is one of the oldest steakhouses in New York. We've been around since 1887. We're a very simple restaurant about simple preparation, and it's all about the meat.
Beautiful, look at that. It's the Michelangelo steaks.
Jody's grandfather, Saul Foreman, discovered the joy of steak at these tables. And when founder Peter Luger put the restaurant up for auction in 1950, Saul was happy to make the highest bid, despite having no experience in food service.
We really understood that if we're going to be a well-known steakhouse, we are going to serve the best meat possible.
To guarantee quality control, Saul's wife Marcia learned to select the beef for Luger's signature entrees, and she passed her skills on to the younger generations, who still choose every cut of beef served at Peter Luger's today.
Of course, the family buys the best meat, handpick the meat. You ever heard of that? Who does that in the business today?
Luger's commitment to superlative sirloin starts while it's still on the hoof.
There are certain breeds that we look for more than others. For example, we've always been into the Hereford cattle or Angus. We prefer that over the Texas Longhorn cattle.
After processing, the steer are quartered and shipped to meat markets around the country. The USDA assigns grades to each quarter. There are 8 grades, starting at the low end with canner and moving up to prime. For Peter Luger's, there is only 1 grade.
There are many things we look for. The first thing, it has to have a stamp that says prime. You have to feel the meat. You have to feel a silky texture. You don't want a rubbery texture. You don't want a gummy texture. Then we also look at the bones to make sure it's from a nice young animal. Here you could see the very nice pink and rosy color. You see the flecking of the fat, which is going to give it its wonderful flavor.
Fat, the flavor, the juices, the sauce. I mean, it's perfect.
This is our dry aging room. There are fans going, and there is a special temperature that the room is held at, special humidity. And this is where the meat is sent to achieve its full flavor potential. And here you can see the meat is getting nice and dry and getting a nice crust on it. And inside it's all broken down. The fibers are going to be nice and tender. Well, there are very few secrets in a steakhouse. The amount of time we age something is very secret to our heart, so I can't tell you that.
As important to the flavor of the steak as the marbling and the dry aging is what part of the steer you slice it from.
Peter Luger's is known for the porterhouse steak. That comes from the short loin portion of the animal. This is the porterhouse in the back. This is the sirloin side, and this is the fillet side. And what's nice about the porterhouse, people sometimes call it the king of all steaks because it appeases the sirloin flavor and the fillet flavor.
When the beef is finally aged to perfection, it's butchered, trimmed, and sent up to the kitchen. Every steak is made to order, and they're cooked at an extremely high temperature of 800 degrees. And even though they make their own steak sauce, they don't recommend putting it on the steak.
The funny thing about the Peter Luger steak sauce is all of us here believe that really good meat doesn't need sauce on it, and we actually don't like when people put the steak sauce on it. We have a sliced tomato and onion salad, and you chop in some of the Luger sizzling bacon, and you put the sauce on it, and it's really wonderful.
Don't forget the new the bacon.
We have a very simple way of preparing the steak.
Just with salt, lay on, drop of water on the plate, slice it up and put it back on the grill, finish it on the grill. And that's about it. Now we may put the steak, hot,
Once the steaks are ready, house rules say they need to get to the dining table within 2 minutes of leaving the broiler.
Waiter's supposed to run with it to the table so that it's crackling and very much alive when it's brought to the table.
Peter Luger serves up over 10 tons of beef every week. With their legendary steaks in such high demand, reservations need to be made weeks in advance.
Always very busy. 500 a day, roughly speaking. Even when we're slow, we're busy.
And anyone who does land a table at Luger's can leave their plastic at home because it's cash only, unless your credit card has the Peter Luger name on it.
We're up to about 90,000 credit card holders. So, we go in consecutive numbers, so the lower the number, the longer time customer you've been, so it means a lot to them.
For 24 years straight, the Zagat survey has named Peter Luger's New York's best steakhouse. And anyone who's eaten here can tell you why.
Steak is great.
Really is good. The best steakhouse in New York is great ambience. Love it.
It's where real people eat, out conversation, just say, eat the steak, that's what you're here for, that's all you really need.